So you just started playing the First Berserker Khazan, or perhaps you're a few hours in, and you want to know what's the best build for the Dual Wield. Well, you come to the right place, because as of the last 4 days, I have been testing out multiple builds for the Dual Wield, and today I have the results of the best one. I'll be going over everything you need to know to use this build. So with that out the way, let's get into this, yeah? We'll first start off with the skill tree. Under the Swift Attack tab, you'll want to grab Whirlwind. This will allow us to chain our weak Swift attacks into a more flashy and powerful attack. Whirlwind Swiftness to make us spin faster. You don't want Whirlwind Chain because the follow-up dash is actually slow and lowers our damage per second. Phantom Sword Dance. This allows us to have Blade Phantom attack with us every time we use Whirlwind and brutally attack an enemy. Under the Potent Blow tab, you'll want to pick up Gale. This applies a debuff on the enemy and gives us a buff. It stacks up to 10 times for a 10% damage increase. All you have to do is attack the enemy with the debuff to get more stacks. We don't want anything else from this branch because it's just here for the debuff and that's it. Under the Penetrate tab, you'll want to pick up Zephyr. This is the poor man's Shadow Reversal. We unfortunately have to pay 1 Fury to use this, but it'll act as a gap closer to do more damage, and if we're already in melee range, it'll allow us to get behind the enemy. In the Common tab, you'll want to pick up Berserk Spirit to gain more spirit from attacking. Now that we have all the skills to do the combo, let's go over how to optimize its damage. I have a full legendary set on, but don't let this fool you. You could use this on new game like I did when I did a completely fresh file run of the game with just the Dual Wield. This is just what the ultimate version of the build will look like. I get a lot of comments in my guides how my builds aren't fresh file friendly, and that's not true, so I figured I'd put the disclaimer here. Okay, onto the gear. You're gonna want to run the 6-piece Bloodthirsty Fiend set. The 2-piece will make our Swift attack deal 10% more damage, which is always nice. The 3-piece will allow us to build up Fury even quicker with each Swift attack. The 4-piece is a juicy bonus, as it'll give us lifesteal whenever an enemy is exhausted. For anyone unaware, an exhausted enemy can be brutally attacked. You know when that red ring of death pops up? Yes, that's what the game refers to as exhausted. The 5-piece bonus will increase our Swift attack stamina damage by a whopping 20%. The big selling point is the 6-piece effect. We learn a completely new Fury action in the form of Gale Doom. This costs 4 Fury, but it's worth it. It boosts our Swift attack damage by quite a lot and can even heal us on activation. I'll go over this in more detail in how this build works section. For accessories, you'll want the Cutthroat set for 20% more damage when attacking the enemy from the rear. Now once you get the Jarling, you could replace the Bloodthirsty Fiend head, preferably the one that gives you more willpower. This headpiece allows us to get gear set bonus above our currently equipped piece. Notice how we still have this 6-piece Blood Fiend set effect even though we don't have the head on? You could also replace the Cutthroat necklace with the Unending Tragedy necklace. This allows us to deal 15% more damage when our stamina is 50% or above. Now like I stated, this build can easily be used on new game or fresh file. Once you beat the final boss, you could craft an epic set before you start New Game Plus. Simply go to the blacksmith and select craft. And you'll notice you could craft epic sturdy materials. Hopefully you've been dismantling because you'll be doing a lot of converting. The epic rarity gives a fixed affix, while legendary gives us 2 fixed affixes to further boost the build. The weapon allows us to learn Phantom Bloody Sword Dance. This version of Sword Dance allows Blade Phantom to attack us with any action, but it'll deal less damage and isn't guaranteed like Phantom Sword Dance. Still an amazing damage increase when you get lucky. It'll also increase our Swift attack stamina damage by another 15%, which stacks with the 5-piece effect. The chest piece will give us another 5% Swift attack damage stacking with our 2-piece effect. It'll also increase our Fury generation by 5% with any attack. The hands grants us another 5% Fury generation and an unscathed damage bonus of 7%. Unscathed only activates when we're 100% HP. Good thing our 4-piece effect can heal us, so we could take advantage of this. Our pants are just like our chest with another 5% swift attack damage increase, and more fury accumulation. Our shoes replicate our hands for even more fury generation, an unscathed damage bonus. Our necklace gives us 100 maximum stamina, which we'll definitely need, and even more composed damage increase. Our ring will allow us to dodge for 5% less stamina, and increase our rear stamina damage by 5%. As you can see, these fixed affixes further accentuate the build so it could truly shine. As for random attributes, you can be rolling for different ones depending on the piece. You can't roll any random attribute on any piece. Starting with the weapon, you're looking for attack damage. This will increase the damage of all our attacks. Do not be fooled and get swift attack damage, as this only buffs our swift attacks. Damage increase to buff all sources of our damage, and damage multiplier increase. For anyone who doesn't know, damage multiplier increases damage of our consecutive hits, and as you saw with the intro, we'll be chaining our attacks back to back very quickly. For headpiece, we're looking for damage increase, stamina damage increase so we can exhaust an enemy quickly for that 4-piece effect to come online. Lastly, maximum stamina increase. We will be using a lot of stamina, and this allows us to get an extra hit before we run on empty. The chest piece is all defensive, so maximum stamina. Received damage decrease is better than maximum health or defense increase, as you'll mitigate way more damage with this than those two. Stamina recovery to get quickly topped up for our next combo. This is optional, and you can replace this with maximum health or defense if you want. The hands are just like our weapons: attack damage, damage increase, and damage multiplier increase. Just like the chest piece, the pants share the same pool, so maximum stamina, receive damage decrease, and stamina recovery or maximum health or defense. The shoes want damage multiplier increase, stamina damage increase, and maximum stamina. You could also roll receive damage decrease if you're still learning fights and you want that safety option. Our necklace will want attack damage, damage multiplier increase, and maximum stamina. You could also roll receive damage decrease if you prefer that safety net. Lastly, the ring. You're looking for attack damage, damage increase, and maximum stamina. Now that we know what gear we're looking for, let's look at our point allocation. Dual Wield gets the most damage from willpower, so max that out first with 89 points. You could then roll 20 into each parameter to hit the first diminishing returns. Our second highest attack damage scaling stat is strength, so maxing out that next is a good idea. As for Khazan Memories, you'll want damage increase maxed out first, so we could deal the most damage possible. Then damage multiplier increase second, so we could chain higher damage numbers. And stamina damage increase last, because who doesn't love brutally attacking an enemy? For phantom abilities, this one's down to personal preference. Keshka is great for this build. It gives us stamina recovery so we can be topped up when we're ready to use our combo. If you awaken it twice, you'll recover 15% of your total stamina to deal even more damage in that exhausted window. Conrad is the highest potential damage boost of all the phantoms, but you need to bring dodge. You can have a permanent 25% damage boost as long as you take no damage after 5 brink dodges, and another 10% for 15 seconds. Time this properly and you'll shred any boss. Maximilian is a good contender. Every brink guard will give you a flat 150 stamina back, and let you destroy any stamina bar with a 25% stamina damage increase as long as you brink guard each hit. Okay, now that you have everything you need, go to Defrona and enter the training ground to practice this combo. First, I want to show you what a normal swift attack combo looks like. Now I'm gonna pop the Gale Doom buff, and look how much more damage we deal and how much faster it is. You definitely want this buff up when you're opening strikes. Okay, for this combo, you want to do 3 swift attacks. The reason we aren't finishing the combo is because the recovery animation from the 4th hit to when we could attack again is almost a whole second. This is a massive damage per second loss. So to mitigate that, we're going to do 3 swift attacks and go right into a whirlwind and then come back down and start swift attacking again. So that'll be 3 swift attack button presses, followed by 2 potent blow attack button presses, and then repeat until they're dead. Master this combo, and no boss will be standing when you get your opening. When an enemy is open, use Zephyr after a combo to get behind them, so you could deal 50% more damage with the game's natural rear modifier, and to activate all our rear bonuses on our gear. For anyone observant, you may have noticed we didn't apply the Gale debuff, and that's because it's slow. In my 26 hours of experience doing a completely new run with Dual Wield and practicing, Gale takes up a whole opening to apply. The starting and end animation is so slow that a boss can escape after applying the debuff. This means you need 2 openers to deal the maximum damage. I focus on efficiency, and since all bosses can be killed in 1 opening, this isn't used. Now in certain fights, when you can apply this at the start of the fight for free, then please do so. As for your buffs, you either want to pop them before entering the boss room, if you know they're aggressive and will attack right away, or pop them as you enter the battlefield. If you want, you could time Gale Doom as you're about to get hit, and I'll heal the damage you took. If you'd like, in the pinned comments and description will be me using this build against the final boss and getting the current world's fastest kill. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you have any unanswered questions, then ask down below. And if you enjoyed this build, consider checking out how to get 350 gear right here. Until the next video, I'll see ya.